Alright, so today we're checking out the Port Arthur District Flea Market. There aren't a lot of yard sales here in Finland, but they do have these street markets, which is kind of just like a community yard sale. According to Wikipedia, this is one of the central districts of Turku, and it's located on the west side of the river Aura. It mostly consists of wooden houses, and it's considered one of the most expensive areas to live in Turku. The wooden houses are separated by narrow streets, often paved with cobblestones, and I see lots of people just setting up their tables and stalls in between walkways. Okay, let's go have a look. I'm so excited. It's so pretty, the architecture and the colors of the paints. Got a ton of akuankas. Dono ducks in Finnish. Our kids actually received this in the mail too. And it comes, you can also get a binder to keep all of them. Kids clothes 98 to 134, €1 each. Oh. This particular event is organized by the Resident Association of Port Arthur. The district association was founded in 1972 to protect the culturally and historically valuable district of Turku from the threat of demolition. The Portsa yard market has over 40 participating housing associations, and residents can set up a stand outside their front doors free of charge. As far as I know, this event only happens once a year in August, although the Housing Association does also sponsor an outdoor event in May where they block off an entire street and residents can set up stalls for a flea market on the street that way.
Reminds me of old schools.
Maybe that's where they're from. Is that a tick? No.
No, it's I don't know what it is. It's like a little dead bug.
Ew. Okay. We're definitely not going to hit all the stands because these are just random tables set up in this entire neighborhood. So we'll try to see how many we can hit. There's so many people. This place is really happening, and it's a really beautiful day today in August. It took us a while to find parking. Oh, they've set up this horse riding thing for kids. Hobby horse, I think that's what's called. You ride on it and run around and hop over those as if you're riding on a real horse. Look at these cool lamps. What's Volveli?
Waffle.
Actually, I wanted to buy this from Movement World but didn't get it, so I think I want to get this. Oh yes, 50% off.
Euro kappale, €1 each.
Okay. Maybe we should buy a waffle just to support them because it's so cheap. We can share one. Just found a vendor that has clothes that fits our daughter, so this is what we got for €10. 2 pairs of pants, a cardigan, some tights, Peppa Pig tights, some Viking shoes for the fall, and then some Kuoma winter boots. These are really popular here because they're wool lined. Almost all the kids here wear these in the winter time. So a steal. A new pair of these, probably around €50, I think. So €10 for everything here. Even though my husband was born and raised in Turku, this was actually our first time attending the event. And I thought it was really interesting to be able to explore this neighborhood via this community yard sale because otherwise you will probably not want to walk through people's backyards. And although I've lived in Turku for almost 2 years now, this was my first time learning about this neighborhood. There are also several local businesses that set up shop outside during this event, including restaurants and cafes, and everyone is just hanging out in the courtyard. There's a real sense of community here, which becomes obvious in events such as this. Port Arthur used to be a working class neighborhood and is now considered one of the most desirable neighborhoods to live in. It's home to about 1,000 households, and in 2022, 3,562 residents lived in the district, and 431 of the residents were Swedish-speaking. And in 2009, the Finnish National Board of Antiquities designated the wooden house blocks of Port Arthur and St. Michael's Church, which is just down the street from the wooden houses, as one of Finland's nationally significant built cultural environments. Turku newspaper, trying to sign people up. Oh, here are the cobblestone streets. Is this from like 200 years ago?
I doubt it's from 200 years ago, but maybe 100 years ago.
Vintage newspapers? Or is,
Huh?
is it fake?
No,
It's real?
No, it's not. It's 1914.
This is what those guys were trying to sell over there on the street corner, right? Hey, look, a Chinese set of China. I used to use these as a kid. I used to call them window bowls because I thought that these little semi-see-through things were windows. You can probably find these at most Asian grocery stores. I do like a good soup spoon though, but I don't have anything that matches that. Knitted goods. This is 50 euros for a 6-pack. If you watch my other Thrift With Me video, you'll see that I purchased the exact same plates for 10 euros each. So that's about the price they go for. They're considered designer plates. That's a cool, it's a boat. It's a boat couch. We're gonna get these for my son. Okay, so I was curious how much rent is in the most expensive neighborhood. So we found a listing for 800 euros a month. Okay, so this building is the one that's on the market. Well, not the whole building, but just one of the apartments. And ta-da! Okay, so this is, yep, we're here. This is what the inside looks like. You go up a set of stairs, and then that looks like the living room. That looks like the kitchen, dining area, and then you go up some more stairs to a little loft area, and there's a little room upstairs. I assume is the bedroom. And that's the other side. That's a bathroom. There's no sauna, right?
I don't think so.
This is only 42 square meters. I'll put the square foot on the screen. It was built in 1927 and it rents for 800 euros a month. A spacious wooden house share in the popular Portsa area. Upstairs there's a bedroom and a bathroom. Downstairs is a living room, kitchen, and a cold hall. There is a cold storage space in the basement under the apartment. Oh, cool. Unlike wooden house shares in general, this house has district heating, so heating is included in the rent. Oh, that's nice. And the tenant only pays for the electricity used. The housing company has a clean, spacious sauna. Oh, they have a sauna, which can be booked for 2 euros per person per hour. Sauna fees are invoiced separately once a year according to the number of times it is used. Cool. Do you think that's how you get to the basement?
Cellar.
That's the cellar? Yeah. There's a playground across the street with a wading pool for kids. You can also set up in a street corner here. This is a sign for the bathroom. We have a half bathroom that's tucked away on the other side of our apartment. Well, if it's under 1 euro, I would buy it. What's pussy?
It's one of the outhouses.
Ah. What's bastu?
Sauna.
Sauna. Ah. So I was curious to see what kind of prices these houses go for on the market, and I ended up finding this really nice listing for a wooden house share that was recently completely renovated on the inside. Here's a look at the floor plan. There's 3 floors. There's a basement floor with a sauna here, a bathroom here with 2 showers, and I think a closet. The main floor here has the kitchen, living room, dining room area. This is the front entrance here to get into the house. You go up a set of stairs and then you'll come to the kitchen and living room, dining room area. And then once you go up another set of stairs, you will find yourself in the loft area. And then it looks like there's this additional space here which can be utilized as a small room too. So here's the kitchen and dining room area. It looks really nice on the inside. And this is probably a detail from the old stove that they brought back in as they renovated. Yeah, look at that. That's so cool. Stairs to go up. The dining area. That's the front entrance there, that red door. Oh, this is the basement, which they've turned into a living room. It's kind of cool. Feels very cozy. That's the bathroom downstairs, I assume. 2 showers. And that's the door to the sauna, probably. Which probably is also the original door, maybe. Ooh, look at that. I don't know why it's so black. It's not a smoke sauna, I'm sure, because those easily burn down, as my father-in-law has mentioned many times. But I wonder why the wood is so charred in there. Is it even charred, or is it just from smoke? I don't know. But yeah, this is a very modern wooden house. And this is the upstairs loft area. There's a skylight here. Other side of the room, there's plenty of closet space. And then they've turned this little nook into a home office, it looks like. Okay, so that's what the outside looks like. We were probably there during the yard market event. Yeah, it looks very familiar. Anyways, so this house share, the asking price is $259,000, which is about 300,000 US dollars. That's a lot for this size, 71 square meters. I'll put the square foot in a corner here because I don't know what that is off the top of my head. And it was built in 1905. But you do have to pay 175 euros a month. This is kind of like the HOA fee, even though they're technically not the HOA, but you pay this to the housing company and they take care of a lot of the things that has to do with the rest of the buildings in the same housing association. So here is a list of all the things that the company has completed. What's fascinating to me in Finland is that all these housing companies actually work on something almost every year. Like you can see chimney caps were installed here for all the buildings, roof of all buildings were painted 2 years ago, and improvements to surface water control in certain buildings. Like they keep track of all the work that's done. They show you where all your money is going. So this is what one of those houses can go for. This one is probably on the pricier end because it was completely renovated. There are a lot of other houses here for a little bit less, and some definitely need some renovations done. But this gives you an idea of what the houses go for in the area. So as I was editing this video, I found the poster for this particular event, and it turned out the very next day they had this plant exchange program here. Come exchange, donate, or receive perennials, houseplants, pots, or plant seeds. Don't be shy, come along. There is no seedling, cutting, or seed so small that it wouldn't grow into a great joy for its recipient. You can also recycle the pots. No money is spent on the event. So I asked my mother-in-law if she was interested in going with me, because she also likes to garden on her balcony of her apartment, and she agreed. So we ended up going together along with my son. I personally am not that into gardening, but I do want to learn how to grow my own vegetables and maybe also fruits. So I took along 2 of our pots that we no longer use as our share of the donation. And it was a very interesting event. A group of people ended up meeting on the corner of a street. If you didn't know it, you probably think they'd be selling drugs. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody just brought what they had and chatted with each other. And if somebody took interest in one of the plants or more, they would pick it up and ask who brought it. And then the person that brought it might tell them a little bit more about it. So the first thing that I picked up, I thought these were rosemary. Why do I always think that things are rosemary? This is not rosemary, but this is something that grows very well in gardens, and it needs little maintenance, and you just put it somewhere where it gets direct sunlight, and it should be able to grow into a fairly nice sized bush. And then the second thing that I picked up, I have no idea what these are called, but it looks like this. Came with the roots, of course. You also just plant it in a sunny spot in the garden. You don't really have to worry about it, and it should be able to thrive in any outdoor space as long as it gets sun. I was able to chat with the lady who dropped these off, and she was able to tell me how to take care of them. I did end up saying thank you to her for bringing these, but she told me not to do that because that's considered bad luck at these exchanges, but she knew that I was trying to thank her. Somebody also brought along some wild mint, and I grabbed a bunch of that too. It smells lovely, and I'm gonna have to plant these probably today before they start dying off, but hopefully they will thrive in our little backyard garden. And then we ended up chatting with this other couple that was there. They were originally from Helsinki. They spoke English very well, and they were chatting with me in English. They found out that I was there with my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law had picked up this plant in her hand, wondering what it was. So this is Nispero. I had to look up what it was. The lady described it as almost like an apricot, but it has 4 seeds inside. She said that it's an Asian plant because she asked where I'm from, and if you don't know, I'm originally from China, but I grew up in the States. So this is actually, in Chinese, this is called a Pipa, but it's also known as Loquat in some other Asian countries. It's very sweet. I don't know if it's going to eventually grow into a tree or a larger plant for it to fruit. They were explaining to us how to take care of this little plant, and you're supposed to keep it indoors. It cannot be too hot or too dry, I think is what he said. And as we were chatting, the couple took out a larger version of this plant from their bag and gave it to my mother-in-law, and it was just really nice for them to do that for us. So my mother-in-law has a larger version of this plant, and I have this little one, which I will hopefully be able to keep alive. So the Helsinki couple, I'm just gonna call them the Helsinki couple, they picked up this plant from the ground. I think they had also brought this. This is Oriental. So this is a poppy plant. It's not an opium poppy if that's what's on your mind. This is a different species. This is called an Oriental poppy. So it has like little spiky leaves that almost reminded me of dandelions, but supposedly it will flower very beautifully. I think I have to plant this outside as well. So the only things that I brought back I need to keep indoors is this little guy. This plant exchange was so very Finnish. Everyone showed up, brought what they had, put it on the floor. People would chat with each other, but you can see people were eyeing the better plants, the healthier plants, the larger plants. This one guy brought a huge plant that was just kind of like sitting there, and then everyone just starts chatting. And then if you're interested in things, you can pick it up and you can ask who brought it. Towards the end of this plant exchange, somebody finally mucked up the courage to say, hey, does anybody want this plant? Referring to the biggest one. And everybody just said, no, no, you can have it, you can have it. Well, I think that a number of the people that were there actually really wanted it, but maybe just felt a little bit too shy to ask for it. But nobody opposed. Everybody was just like, you take it, yes, you take it, you should take it. This one lady picked up the largest plant, and there were some other really healthy and nice looking plants that got swept up really quick. So I hope you had fun learning about the Port Arthur neighborhood in Turku. I certainly did, and I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out for the events happening next year. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and also maybe share it with a friend. Thanks so much for staying all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one. Moi moi!